Hi and welcome back to Lavender Coco Kitchen. Well, today I'm making New York cheesecake bars. And New York cheesecake is a delicious, rich and creamy baked cheesecake. And it is of course usually made with a lot of dairy and eggs as well. So today I'm going to show you how to make it totally vegan, no eggs, no dairy. And also it's a lot lower in sugar than a regular cheesecake. And it's full of some really healthy ingredients that maybe you wouldn't expect in a cheesecake, like chickpeas, for example. And we're going to use cashews as well. And of course, all the other lovely wholesome ingredients like tahini, coconut sugar, coconut cream, nuts and oats. So I'm going to start with the base. And the base is usually made with crushed up biscuits. But I'm going to make a base that does taste very biscuity, but it doesn't use any biscuits. It just uses these healthy ingredients here. So I'm just going to start with oats. Oats, of course, is very heart healthy ingredient. It's very satisfying. We're going to put in 3/4 of a cup into a food processor or blender. Now we need 1/2 cup of cashews, and these ones are roasted salted cashews, which give it a really nice flavour, but you could just use raw cashews if you prefer. So just put 1/2 cup. I have some raw almonds, and once again you could use like roasted almonds if you like. Coconut sugar. Now, as you know, biscuits that you buy are loaded with sugar. So if you use biscuits, you would get a very sugary base, but I'm only going to put in 1 tablespoon of coconut sugar because that's really all you need. And when you have everything together, it balances out really well. And if you weren't using salted nuts, just add a little pinch of salt just to enhance the flavor. Coconut oil to bind it. So just need a couple of tablespoons. It doesn't really matter if it's solid, it's okay. Or if it's a bit more melted, it's all right. So all we need to do is blend that. All right, so now I have my blended mixture here. I'm just going to add in 3 more tablespoons of oats. It just gives a little more texture to it. So I'm just mixing that in now. So now I've just got a loaf tin. I'm lining it with baking paper. Yeah, just make sure the paper does come up, right up the sides, because the filling is quite deep and you don't want it like overflowing. So now I'm just going to press this into the tin. So just press it down really well. There, it's pressed down firmly. So I'm going to bake it at 180 degrees for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to make the filling, the delicious, rich and creamy non-dairy filling. So we're going to use cashews, which I've had soak in boiling water for it's probably about an hour now, but at least do it at least 20 to 30 minutes, because if they're softer, they'll blend a lot better. So I just drain the water. So I'm just going to put those in the blender. That's just a cup, 1 cup. So now I'm going to put in the chickpeas. Chickpeas are a very good carbohydrate, especially if you do have diabetes or you're watching your carb intake, because they help to keep your blood sugar steady. And they're also an excellent source of protein if you are vegan. They make a nice creamy texture and they'll blend into everything. You won't actually even taste that the chickpeas are there, but it just adds to a nice smooth and creamy texture. Half a cup. I'm going to put half a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now we need a tablespoon of corn flour. That just helps to thicken the mixture. For sweetness, I'm going to use maple syrup. And we only need a 1/4 cup because this doesn't really need to be overly sweet. So I'm going to put a fruit topping on, and it all works together really well. So you get a dessert that's not overly sweet, but it's really satisfying, delicious. So I'll just put a 1/4 cup. Now I'm going to put in a tablespoon of tahini, which is a sesame seed paste. If you don't have this or you don't want to use it, you could use smooth nut butter. But this does give it a nice texture and just adds to the flavour. Just need about a tablespoon of that. A little 1/4 teaspoon of salt just enhances the flavour. Now I'm going to need coconut cream for the nice creaminess. I'll just use a cup of coconut cream. I need the juice of 1 lemon, which should equal about a 1/4 cup. That's about a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And then I'll just have the grated rind of the lemon. I'll just add that as well. Last ingredient is apple cider vinegar. This just gives that little souriness that you get from sour cream or cream cheese, which is what is normally used. So I just need just a little bit, just a half a tablespoon. It might seem a bit odd to use this, but it actually just works really well to make the whole flavour. So now you just need to blend it till it's nice and smooth. Yeah, there we have it, it's nice and smooth. There's a nice smooth mixture there and it's pretty tasty. It's got that nice cheesy lemony sort of taste that you expect. Okay, so I'll just check the base. So that's been in about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to leave it to cool for a few minutes there. And I've turned the oven down to about 160, 150 because we want a slightly lower temperature to bake the cheesecake. Well, a tip for baking a baked cheesecake so it won't dry out in the oven, just place a baking pan of water in the oven underneath where the cheesecake tin will be, and it just creates a bit more of moisture in the oven so it doesn't dry out. Okay, the base has cooled just about 5 minutes, so I'm going to pour the filling on top. This just goes back in the oven for another 40 to 45 minutes until it's firm on the top. As you can see, I'm placing it above the pan of water that I've got in there already. So now it's cooking, we can make the fruity topping. So I've just got a couple of cups of strawberries, or you could use any other berries, and they can be fresh or frozen, it doesn't really matter because we're going to cook them. So just put them in a saucepan, and I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of lemon zest. So a tablespoon of lemon juice. A tablespoon of water, just about a teaspoon of vanilla, half a tablespoon of maple syrup. And if you have berries that are a little bit sour, you might want to add another half tablespoon. So you can adjust that according to how sweet the berries are. Now I'm just going to put it on the stove on a medium heat and just let it cook until the berries break down and it becomes a bit syrupy. You can just leave it there, but just keep an eye on it and stir it now and then so it doesn't stick. And don't have the heat too high. Alright, you can see the berries have broken down. So now I'm just going to add a tablespoon of chia seeds. The heat's off now. Just stir that in, and this will thicken the mixture, so it'll be thick enough to go on top of the cheesecake. You just leave that there and let it cool down. So you can see this is cooked. It looks and feels firm on top, but when you put a knife in, you'll notice it still looks undercooked. But it doesn't matter because it's going to firm up when it's cold. So that's the way you want it to be. So, and also you can see my strawberry topping has become a lot thicker now. So just let them cool off for a while, and then you can put the topping on. And then this has to cool probably overnight is best, because it needs to get really cold and it really firms up well. And you can even make this in advance and just cool it and keep it in the fridge, and then you can make the fruit topping later, like, you know, an hour or so before you want to serve it. Or you can just do it all together if you want to, and then just spread the topping on the top. Just spread it out evenly. Okay, so once it's cooled down enough, it still feels a bit hot obviously, so just let it get a bit cooler and then put it in your fridge, leave it there overnight, and it should be nice and firm. Next day just slice it into bars and decorate it as you like. So there you have the delicious New York cheesecake all put together in the layers, and as you can see, I've piped a bit of coconut cream and put some raspberries on the top, and now I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.